Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. I got a video today from ChishaZed.
Okay, Ohio parents, listen up. There's a new bill, because you know they like to keep throwing bills at us, that's being proposed. It is called the Right to Know Act, and it can totally change what happens in the hospital when your baby is born. If
Shout outs to
parents go
Ohio.
into the hospital and they have a baby and they are not married, the hospital is required. Well, if this bill passes, the hospital would be required to offer
Can they also require for people that are married?
a DNA test before the mother puts the father on the birth certificate.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
So I read the caption of this video, and of course, I knew this was some BS, right? It says, law passed making DNA tests mandatory at birth of the child. Now, of course, we know if there's ever a mandatory DNA test law, which does not exist in any state, it would have to be by the state. But anyways, I read that and heard the video.
So I see that TikTok's in the uproar because government officials are trying to make a law that states all couples that have a baby must get a mandatory DNA test at the birthing of the baby.
Again, guys, fake news, right? Chisha, why would you make this video? I got 5 other videos to show you after this. I went down a rabbit hole of a conversation I had a few years back. And the question here I have for you is, how do you think most women would respond to this? Some of you probably already saw this video from the past, but there's some other videos where women are against this happening in a very strange, strong way.
And a lot of women are saying that this is very unjust, that they don't believe in this, it's against women's rights, and you should just trust them. And I'm here to say, you scared me, okay? And then not on duty. Not on duty. What do you mean we are doing too much because I want to know if that baby came out of my balls? Are you crazy? You have the audacity. And at this point, I'm officially convinced that you would gaslight Jesus himself if you had the opportunity. Because there's no reason why you feel like this is unjust. We had a baby. So there's no way this is where we draw the line at, okay? And it's for plenty of situations that we should have this instated, okay? Paul, who is white, had a baby with Becky, who is white. Why the is the baby black? Okay.
That's a good question. And I've actually seen that happen in a video I covered. A dude was telling his story of the situation. And so, yes, a lot of people are talking about this fake news.
It reminds me of me, myself, and Irene.
Would be nice. Would be nice. I did some research. I was like, okay, are there any bills out there that are actually proposing this? And I found this. Ohio. Check it out.
Okay, Ohio parents, listen up. There's a new bill, because you know they like to keep throwing bills at us, that's being proposed. It is called the Right to Know Act, and it can totally change what happens in the hospital when your baby is born. Let's talk about it. So here's what's going on. If parents go into the hospital and they have a baby and they are not married, the hospital is required. Well, if this bill passes, the hospital would be required to offer a DNA test before the mother puts the father on the birth certificate.
Perfect.
If both parents
Offer or kind of do it? Now, there's a difference between just offering a DNA test and actually doing the DNA test.
say yes, then the test is done immediately. If they say no, they still have to sign a waiver saying they were offered to take the test, but they declined. If one person says yes and the other person says no, then it is proposed that they go ahead and do the DNA test.
What I'm curious to know about is, why would anybody say no? Now, I could see an issue with like receiving the answers that may be bad news.
I think simps are going to be like, oh, I trust her. I believe her. She's so honest. She's always been loyal to me. I see that happening, but these men are just kind of signing their own grave.
The time when you just had the baby. And there are ways around that, right? You could probably release results like 30 days after, before, of course, anybody signs the birth certificate, and signing can happen after the results are shown, because you don't want chaos breaking out in courts, because there would be some chaos.
Supporters of this bill say that this protects kids. It gives them the clear legal paternity from day one. There is no questioning whether or not someone is their father or not. And other supporters say it can eliminate kids learning further down the road that someone is not their father when they thought it was from the start. But there are a lot of people pushing back on it. And they're saying that is not the time and the emotional space to demand some sort of test. So this bill has not passed. It's still being debated. But if it does, then this does affect any people walking into the hospital who aren't married. So what do you think? Should this pass or should this not?
They should have this bill in every single state for non-married and
Both.
married couples.
Agreed.
Even if you're not in a situation where you have a significant other, it doesn't matter. They should have this. And if you don't know who the daddy is, at that point, you need jail time.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
And when she said people were opposed to it, a lot of chicks, surprisingly, are opposed to a law like this. Don't believe me? Check it out for yourself.
DNA testing at birth.
Mandatory
DNA testing at birth. I don't agree with that.
Check that baby.
No.
Like what? Check that baby. I don't care what nobody say. Check that baby. You never know.
Why?
You never know.
But what I feel like DNA testing at birth to me is like, no matter how you spin it, no matter how you try to dress it up, you are telling your wife, I think you've been cheating on me.
No, it's mandatory. There's no me saying I want the DNA test. It's just going to happen to make sure I'm the father. So there's none of this fake, virtue signaling going on. No. It's just mandatory.
No, you're not.
And there are examples where guys raise kids that aren't theirs. Like, it's like, I can understand if it's never happened or if it's not a thing, but that's a thing that happens. People take breaks, raise kids. What was that one story about the dude that like raised the kid like after they took a break and then found out that the kid wasn't his? It happened while they were on a break, and you know what I mean? Like, that's,
okay, during a break, I feel like I can understand that justification. But it's like, we've been together, we've been rocking together. It's been 8 years, no break, been solid. You ain't never thought I cheated on you once. If I have a baby, I carried this baby for 9 months.
Congratulations.
I just pushed out a 8-pound human
that could not be mine.
What does that change?
Right.
How does that affect anything?
Dude.
They love to use that sympathy victim mentality. Oh, I was the one that had to give birth. It had to come out of me. I popped out. Yes, that's how biology works between men and women. Got it.
You pushed out an 8-pound human.
Listen, I pushed out an 8-pound human.
All right, so that's that. This was a really popular one. Do you guys remember this one?
I think that the United States making DNA testing mandatory is stupid. I don't think that, it's something that if you feel like you need a DNA test, go do that on your own time because you feel that way. I don't think every person, there's millions of people in the United States. Like, it doesn't make sense that people could be using that time to do other things. Like, you could be saving a life. You could be in a hospital saving a life.
What?
This is from the African millennial, a bunch of lost chicks.
I personally pay taxes, and I care about where my money goes.
Really? All of a sudden you care where your taxes go? How much taxes do you actually pay, ladies?
I'm not here to pay for so-and-so because there's a confusion about who's the father. That's not my business. Handle your personal shit. And for me, I want to fund schools. I want to fund the MTA because the trains are never on time. We got bigger problems. We have bigger problems. I'm sorry. I'm not paying for no mandatory test. I don't think there's any issue with a man taking care of another man's child. Women do it all the time, whether you know or not. He might bring another child and say, oh, I had this out of our wedlock. What are we going to do? Or he's taking your money and paying child support to another family. You had no idea. So when we're just like jumping like
taking your money, maybe it's mandatory child support because they're taking his money.
Oh, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. Hold on, it's already being done.
You could have been doing so many other things with your life. You could have been figuring your life out. I don't know if
it's like they told him to come on here and just like say the craziest thing. I also came across this video from South Africa of this man pandering, and it's just so uncomfortable to listen to.
It should be mandatory that every child born should actually do a DNA test and to know who the father is.
No, we are not doing that. I am against mandatory paternity testing.
Why?
I refuse to live in a country where the first thing the government does to a newborn baby is treat them like a piece of evidence. Women don't deserve to be treated like suspects in a crime immediately after giving birth. When men demand mandatory paternity testing, they are asking for special treatment. Who's going to pay for this? Women can't even get free pads and tampons. But you think the government should fund your paranoia. Half of the population bleeds every single month. But instead of that being treated like a basic need, you want taxpayers to fund your DNA tests.
Oh.
We pay for so many things that only benefit women. Can we get something that benefits men?
Pandering is strong in this one. Just full of simp.
Just because you don't trust the women you sleep with. What about the presumption of innocence? Mandatory paternity testing assumes all women are guilty of lying until they can be proven innocent. The same men.
What?
It's not like they're going to jail until they prove that it's our kid or something.
Who accuse all women of paternity fraud are the same men who believe that when they get accused, they should be treated as innocent until proven guilty.
Wait. What? How are they guilty? Just because you want to test? He's just trying to trigger us. We can't let him get it. We can't let him have it. He just, by the way, he just said that it's like saying that all men who are accused of rape are guilty before innocent.
Like, I'm not trying to wish bad on men or bad on people or something, but like, man, I hope this man kind of goes through the ringer and experiences this and sees why it's necessary.
If mandatory DNA testing becomes a law.
Even though we know 99% of rape are men, but only 65% of paternity tests indicate that the man is not the biological father of the child.
65%, did you just said?
Despite these statistics, men believe that they should be presumed innocent until proven guilty when accused of. But women should be.
Just because one gender, statistic says one gender does it more, doesn't mean every person that gets accused in that gender is guilty. You dumb?
Presumed guilty
you dumb.
Until proven innocent
dumb.
When it comes to paternity fraud. What about the right to privacy? Mandatory paternity testing forces women to surrender their genetic data without consent. But
What?
This shouldn't surprise anyone. Since when have men ever cared about consent? If you really want a
Who is this guy?
paternity test, nothing is stopping you. The procedure is very simple. If you really believe the child is not yours, go to court and convince the judge to give you a court order for a DNA test. Save up some money and pay for it yourself. Paternity testing should remain voluntary, and court orders for mandatory testing should be given on a case-by-case basis.
We need global change. Global change.
It does trip me out a little bit that men are like that. Or are they there to make the money? Because do they actually truly believe these things? Or do they believe if they side with women or side with this side that they're going to get more access to women? Women are going to like them more? Again, I don't really see how most men can genuinely think this, right? How can they truly believe that a mandatory DNA test is a bad thing when men just are never known without a DNA test if it's actually their child? That's a big deal for a lot of people, not just men, women too. Would women want to raise a child that's not theirs, that they didn't know about? No. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.